Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, B-Farm, thinking right out here in the lab. I'm back in the book. I got my little hanks off. I done been shrunk, so now I can get back to doing what I do, enlightening you to you. So let's get busy. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's handle our business now. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you are a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where I'm going with this? Okay, so let's get there together. I got to ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. Yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not, and knows not that they know not, too much not knowing, disregard them. That's foolish. A person who knows not and knows that they know not, it's okay. They're simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. Oh, excuse me. Shoot, my bad. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. Yeah, that's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and always to my yacht be true. I got you back in the book now. So we did the question about who is God. I gave the creation, broke down Hotep. Now I'm going to give you who are the gods? That's the question. And the netters of creation. Who are they and what they really are? That's what I'm going to break down for you. I got a nice little page and a half of information. Hope you get a better understanding. I thought it was informational, so let's go. You already know where we are, so I ain't got to keep explaining every little thing. I'm going to just go to the lesson, all right? The netters, a.k.a. gods, they are cosmic forces, again, throughout and in which the universe operates on. Calm down, see, this is redundant to me, but okay, some new for few, old to some. They are to be thought of, how? As expressions of who? The divine will of God, of gods, the supreme being. When they say netter, netteru, okay, netter of netters, that's the God of gods, okay. The netters keeps what? The divine order in the universe and operate the great plane of nature, which is what this God's respect, to promote what? The development and the evolution of all creatures in the universe. Everybody else is fine. Man has consciousness. Why? He needs to elevate his consciousness to what? Know himself. And he find out that he is God in the flesh. That's why. Okay? That's the purpose of what I'm doing right now. The netters, what they do, they follow the dictates of who? God. They act in a set of ways as prescribed by the netteru, God of gods. They cannot act independently of the order set by God. They will not deviate. They just function. They don't represent nothing but the function. It's called knowing your role and playing your position. Okay? And they are just expressions of that particular order. Everybody have marching orders that they got to follow. Okay? So to speak. Now, right here. Whenever you see the sign, these here, this is the second dynasty concept of the netters. They got the the flags, okay? Triple flag. But the first one where I showed you, the circle and the dot, the circle, okay? Now at the advanced, they giving God, they give him identity, they put him in the ram's form, they give him all the criteria of God, all the attributes. That's called the all-encompassing, when he have all his regalia to show you who he is. Let's talk about the gods. The netters, aka gods with an S. Little case G, as my daughter would say. You got God with the big G, then you got the God with the little case G. I thought that was at that time. Now I get where the concept come from. That's all I'm saying. I'll leave it there. All right, but she had to understand. I got you. But the netters, the gods, represent, again, aspects of God, just like the aspects of your character, who operate in the universe on God's orders, in his command. And what is in us, as above, so below. That's the macrocosm, the big picture. We are the micro, the little picture. Understand that. And present inside everyone, the spirit, they must be what? Everyone must realize and develop by us for what? Your journey on this spiritual path that we call life in the physical form. We're here to learn a lesson. We don't know we're gods. We think we're human. Okay? The lesson is to know you're God. How about that? Okay? Why? We come here as ego beings. Edge God out. You incorporate God in your life, know God, and you pass on to the afterlife. Other than that, you're going to keep coming back here. Okay? Called reincarnation. In Indian Hindu mythology, we all have one, just as in Kemetic mythology, they shared the same philosophy and mythologies, pretty much mirrored each other. They use what they use. India, we use what we use, but it was pretty much the same philosophy. Watch this. There are ultimately, you ready? Millions of gods. Sadhguru, the mystic of India, he said we got over 30 million gods, and if we was more creative, we can come up with some more. So that means you can make anything you want God. You can symbolically make God anything to represent, but how do you serve and worship him? That's where the question lies for the what manifestation of your thoughts, bring it to life. And from any absolute perspective, the number may be unknown. Why? Because all objects in creation are given existence by who? The netter, aka God. So therefore, all objects, including peoples, are netters. Can't make it no plainer. I ain't gonna sit and try to, no. I'm moving on. I ain't gonna candy coat that, try to break it down. It's real simple. We are guys in the flesh. We don't consciously know that. My job to get you conscious, aware that by doing things that you and God can make your personal, introduction, and now you know who you are. So that's my job. That's my goal, for get you to have that experience for yourself. It's called a mystical experience, the enlightenment, and awakening, whatever you want to call it. My goal is to get you to have it for yourself. Let's go. But now it's all about the actions. There you go. The deeds that will be pleasing. There you go, to the netter, and are those which are in harmony with universe. If you living right with Maya, she will reward you. Why? Because there's some rewards for doing the thing that she wants you to do. If you live on Maya, you're on your own. And those actions, watch this, which are displeasing against Maya, are the ones in which what? Go against nature and God's laws of the universe, and not going to be good for you, algebra. Unpleasant consequences, you reap what you sow. Unpleasant consequences are derived from what? From negative actions, wrong actions against what? Cosmic order, aka God or yourself. You're a devil when you're not doing what you know God expects of you. If you obey God, you're fine. If you don't, you got to be punished. Didn't the devil get punished? Moving on. And that's a concept. Why? It's either God or you. When you do you forsake God, you got to pay for that. There's consequences that come with that. Don't worry. Call it karma. But the goal of life is to consciously come into harmony with what? The cosmic order, aka God. By how? By regaining one's memory to their true identity. They call it, and I like to hit that concept. Why? Because they tell you when them guys talk about the soul contract, they say that when we die, our memory is washed clean. We come back again from the coming to light. When people had a near-death experience, they go to light. That's the trap door back here to reality, back to this world. Okay, you ain't in Kansas no more, and you sure ain't in the other one we want to go. Okay, you ain't in the do-what. You ain't in the no. So understand that, and it was laid out. So the rules that you follow will either show you or prove to you ain't doing it this way, you ain't doing it. Simple as that. And those who do it that way know. Those who don't find out real quick. Moving on. But the sad part about it, when they mess up the next life, they don't get to remember. No, you don't know none of that. That's when you come in here again, clean, got to do a mulligan all over again. No matter how hard you work. Like my man who pushed the boulder up to the top of the hill. Soon as you get to the top of the hill, it just roll back down. Yep. Conceptually. All right. But now, remember, the netters may be categorized into 3 groups. It's going to be fun. If you've been following, this is for you. Okay? If you just pop it in and say, what the hell are you talking about? So, yeah, this might not be for you. But if you're following, let's break the netters down by the categories. There's 3 groups. Metaphysical netters. What's a metaphysical netter? I'm about to tell you. Metaphysical netters represent the principles of the universe. We can see it, okay? They are Ra, the sun, Amun, the hidden spirit that's in all things, and Ptah, the physical manifestation of God in the flesh. They had a complete, but these are all mental constructs in the mind. Again, this is all mental, and we call that the Trinity. It's also known as the Naburcha, one God with different aspects, okay? Everything is Amen, hidden, Ra, seen, Ptah, manifested. 3 in 1. I was 1, I became 3. But that's the spiritual Trinity. That means God has different aspects. He's all this, all that. Yeah, he's spirit, energy, and he's consciousness. Those 2 things together will make anything, can create anything. Let's go. And remember Adam? Adam works for God, just like the netters. Watch this. We just did the lesson earlier, so I got that in my mind. But watch this. Everything is them. These are a direct creation from the netter of netters, God to the gods behind him, emanations of him. They are responsible, watch this, for the direction, the management of creation at every moment. Previously, we discussed in the chapter on what the Egyptian physics. I just came up out of there. Just broke that down for you with the atoms. Okay, that's the netter. Okay, what I said. The netters, created the elements. The netters, air, fire, water, earth. Okay, those are the elements for creation from God that sustains everything that's going on. That's the concept. That's the first one, metaphysical. Watch this. It manages everything. We knew physics way back there. Okay? Even metaphysics. Next one is they call the cosmic netters. That's nature. And they are seasonable. Nature changes seasons, right? They are variable in relations to what? The requirements of what? The metaphysical netters, which who obeying the laws of life in general. They just do what they do. Examples of cosmic netters. You ready? Air. What we breathe. We call it air. No, we call it Shu. We gave it an identity. Shu was a man with an ostrich feather inside his head. We gave him identity, but he's what we call a cosmic netter. He's air, nature. Geb represents earth. Nut represent heaven. Asar represent physical man, spirit in the flesh from Ptah. Set is what? Your ego. That's internal. Aset, your intuitive knowledge. Nephet, your understanding of nature, life and death, mortality and immortality. Aset and Nephet. Aset represents immortality. Nephet represents mortality. So you have understanding. These are all characteristics of your personality that if you learn and understood it, you can master them, hone them, and use them to your benefit. Trust me. Next one, the natural netter. The The natural netters were presented, watch this, in the functioning, just told you they only function by what they got it told them to do. Their functioning of nature, objects such as, remember the God Happy, he's the God of the Nile. He sees that the Nile floods when it's supposed to. If there's a shortage or something, he'll know about that. They pray to him to do what he needed to do for the Nile. And then you got the God Apep for gestation. The snake, serpent, the giant serpent, that's also inside you for your digestion. And all these concepts and letters, they all characters of you. That Bible that y'all love so dear, it's a book about you. Just a bunch of stories you can emulate. Same thing I do with my right thing of philosophy. Stories I tell you just about my life experience. I ain't got to make nothing up. I ain't got to tell you a bunch of lies. Moving on, that's the concept. Now, watch this. Neteru, supreme being. He's the netter of the Neteru, king of the netters, okay? Being through what? Amen, Ra Pata. Again, it was first created. Watch this. Shu. Told you about him. He represents the air. And Tafnut. She's the principal in the female aspect. Shu male. Tafnut, his compounding opposite, which is Tafnut. She represents humidity, aka water. If the earth is 75% water, she represents the morning dew, the humidity, the mist. That's what she represents in the rainfall. That's who Tafnut represents. That's the principle. Next, Shu and Tafnut, what they do? They united to beget what? The earth and the sky. Heaven and earth, okay? They was in a love embrace and separate. Oh, that gay, that's story. I'm doing that. It's too much time. I got to do it back. But Nut is the lady arched over Geb, covered earth. That's what I tell you, fellas. In the sexual position, the females on top. Y'all flipped it. Moving on, I ain't got time for that either. There's another little tidbit. I just throw them out there every now and then, but I ain't got to elaborate on every one of them. I ain't got time for that. All right, I see the clock. I got to beat the clock. Now, where we at? You got, they begot, and Geb and Net, they begot Asar, Set, and Nephthep. And depending on who told the story, Haru, that means Haru, full grown. All right, they got a picture on page 77. I did 57. But the other gods' principles are produced thereafter from this group. Asar, Set, Nephthep, and Haru. All those are aspects of your character that if you learn to master, all male gods are aspects or a particular manifestation of the Supreme Being in the male perspective. I showed you the body, left side, right side, left side, female. When Masons get initiated, they pull your what? Neck and left breast, just to be sure. The old school was just drop trial, okay? But all female goddesses are manifestations of the Supreme Being in the female aspect. Do you understand that? Because everything ain't man and woman, but they mean masculine, feminine, good, bad, in, out, up, down. You get the concept opposites. Now, male cannot exist without female, and vice versa. So all that, who got the most, the pull from the child, the mother, the father, is equal. It's equal. That's why single parenting don't work. The child needs the man. If the man was there to make it, the man should be there to raise it. That's just my philosophy. I know everybody don't agree with that. But no. So if y'all don't want to be together to raise a kid, don't have unprotected sex. That takes care of that problem. But when you do that, you open yourself up for that situation, along with the sexually transmitted diseases. But I'm not saying don't have sex. Safe. That's what I'm saying. Do it safe. It's the way to do things, and that's one of the ways. This is not new. Sorry, young people. But no, it ain't. Trust me. So I ain't got time to play that game with y'all either. But you can't have one without the other. So there's no upper hand. Equal. Balance. This female and male complementary. They complement each other. They don't oppose each other. They complement each other in principle, which underlies creation. They work together, and this basis is also known as what we call yoga. Union, coming together, communing with one, making it work, okay? Most important, to the process of yoga. What are their God principles? That's what they are. Saw, S-A-A, and Hu, H-U. These are, again, God principles within you that control your senses and your intuitive understanding and the faculties, your thinking process. Sa is divine intelligence, complete understanding of the teachings that I'm giving you. That's divine intelligence. Now, it's registering, you comprehending it, you understand it, you can apply it now. You can use it. It makes sense to you. You can use it. You get it. That's divine intelligence. That's Sa. Again, aspect of your character. And Hu. Hu is divine food upon which gods live. And the divine food that you get them is your virtuous living, your truth telling, your justice in order and peace, and also reciprocity, to give and receive. These are all qualities that you can exhibit, and God respects those. That's what they're telling you. Yoga teaches you how to get God's attention and his blessings through philosophical and meditation process that anybody can do. I know that. Now, I'm going to stop right there. I see the clock. That's perfect timing. I got another lesson called The Realm of Light. I can put them two together, but no, I think I separated them. So, right thinkers, in closing, that's a quick lesson on who are the gods and the netters of creation, how they operate, how they work. Hope you understood it. I'll be right back with another lesson for you. But in closing, right thinkers, may you all let it be 100, maybe 100 minus a day. So I'll never know that my right thinkers have passed away. But you know the deal. When you practice in my art and live right, you never pass away.